Hello everyone! Another big compilation of this year's best chases. Enjoy the show. On June 1st, 2024, at approximately 12:14 p.m., I was on a stationary patrol on I-75 north of Pine Ridge Road when I took note of a silver vehicle traveling south with an illegally tinted windshield. I initiated a traffic stop just north of Pine Ridge Road. The vehicle was a 2018 Dodge Charger bearing a Florida tag. The vehicle pulled to the right shoulder and stopped. I met with the driver and immediately smelled the distinct odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. I called for a backup unit, to which Trooper Rodriguez responded. As Trooper Rodriguez arrived, I ordered the driver to exit his vehicle. Mr. Castellanos was not cooperative and was making overt movements in the vehicle. At one point, Mr. Castellanos reached into the back seat and I could no longer see his hands.
He's going west on 896.
I attempted a pit maneuver, where I missed completely. I was able to regain control of my patrol vehicle and re-enter the pursuit. Trooper Rodriguez was now the lead pursuit vehicle. We all traveled east, in and out of traffic, until we approached Logan Boulevard. Mr. Castellanos turned right and began to travel on Logan Boulevard.
I took a right on Logan.
Trooper Rodriguez was able to execute a successful pit maneuver where Mr. Castellanos' vehicle turned, and I crossed over the raised cement median. Mr. Castellanos complied and was placed in handcuffs without further incident. Trooper Rodriguez jumped onto the hood of the stopped vehicle and had his gun drawn. I told him there was another occupant in the vehicle, to which he was able to extract that individual and place him under arrest as well. I asked Mr. Castellanos if there was anything else in the vehicle that we should know about, such as drugs, guns, knives, etc. Mr. Castellanos replied that there was nothing else in the vehicle. We searched the trunk and located a black backpack, Inside the black backpack were the following: a scale, 5 vacuum-sealed clear plastic baggies containing a green leafy substance which smelled like marijuana, a clear plastic baggie containing a white powdery substance which field tested positive for fentanyl, a pair of scissors, many clear plastic Ziploc baggies used for packing illicit drugs. On August 19, 2024, I responded to the area of Capitol Circle Northwest in reference to the Tallahassee Police Department, which was engaged in an active high-speed pursuit involving a vehicle and a suspect linked to an armed carjacking. The pursuit was moving northbound on Capitol Circle from Pensacola Street. TPD advised that the vehicle bore Florida registrations and was reported stolen during a carjacking on Palm Beach Street. At this point, I caught up to the pursuit, and TPD requested that I take over as the primary unit. I overtook the TPD marked patrol vehicles and became the lead pursuit vehicle in the area of Dick Mitchell Drive and Old Bainbridge Road. The suspect vehicle continued fleeing northbound at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, forcing several other vehicles off the road.
Copy my engine mileage for it's too busy. Go ahead, 375. 12320. This 46 is really good.
The vehicle continued northbound on Iron Bridge Road and approached the intersection of Iron Bridge Road and Concord Bainbridge Road. As the vehicle attempted to turn right onto Concord Bainbridge Road, I managed to use the push bumper of my patrol vehicle to strike the rear of the suspect vehicle, causing the driver to lose control. Both the suspect's vehicle and my patrol vehicle veered into the westbound shoulder/ditch, which disabled both vehicles. Officers from TPD and I removed the passenger and then the driver from the vehicle. Both were placed in double lock handcuffs behind their backs and detained in the rear seats of the TPD patrol vehicles. TPD officers conducted a search of the suspect vehicle and located a firearm on the driver's side floorboard, which was seized as evidence. Lawson's paint and body arrived on scene and took possession of the vehicles. Usually, Arkansas State Police take control of pursuit situations from other departments and put the smackdown on fleeing suspects rapidly. But every once in a while, there's someone who has a more advanced skill set and so can really work over troopers. They are rare, but this guy driving a stolen Dodge Charger Scat Pack is one of them, shaking off 4 troopers chasing him before he's finally taken down. While impressive, one has to keep in mind this guy is breaking the law, at the very least, fleeing from multiple law traffic stops and possibly a car thief, if not more. With the first trooper, our suspect goes on Mr. Toad's wild ride, slicing through traffic on a Little Rock highway with the kind of precision that laughs at people who claim modern Dodge Chargers handle like slobs. Obviously, it's the driver who makes the difference, and this guy is good. As the trooper is hard-pressed to keep up, a second one joins the pursuit. That's a good thing, because the first trooper suffers a tire blowout at high speed, yet somehow maintains control of his cruiser. The second trooper gives chase on surface streets, up in the close calls and tension as intersections with red lights enter the mix. It doesn't take long for the Scat Pack to black out and try slipping away, a trick that surprisingly doesn't work. But the suspect drops the hammer and does get away, bringing us to the third trooper to give chase.
He's about 100 yards ahead of him.
That's short-lived, as the Scat Pack slips between two cars and the ASP cruiser doesn't, slamming into the back of one instead. Trooper Glover sustained minor injuries. Two other occupants, including a minor, were transported for treatment and evaluation. It's almost an hour and a half later when the four troopers see the Charger Scat Pack and give chase on surface streets.
Where you at?
The suspect once again blacks out, but the trooper stays on him. Eventually, at a T intersection, the trooper takes the opportunity to try pitting the fleeing Mopar. He makes contact, but the suspect knows how to shake off the attempt. Sadly, it also caused enough damage to stop the trooper from continuing the chase. Finally, the fifth trooper jumps into the fray just minutes later after sitting blacked out on the side of the road. That little trick allows him to surprise the Scat Pack driver. Then he capitalizes on that by cutting a corner, gaining on the suspect rapidly. As the Scat Pack tries to turn, the trooper delivers the killing blow, pitting it out. That brings one of the most interesting chases we've seen ASP in for a long time to a close. Driver, Ty Lawrence Thomas, is caught after a foot chase. He is actually tackled by Sergeant Gabe Monroe. The vehicle is stolen and a Glock 19C is located inside. The Glock has a switch attached allowing it to have a fully automatic capabilities. Charges: improper display of license tags, felony fleeing with serious physical injury, substantial danger of death, theft by receiving, reckless driving, fleeing on foot, speeding more than 15 over. On Thursday, June 20th, 2024, at approximately 9:14 p.m., Troop A Communications advised that Little Rock Police Department was in pursuit of a stolen vehicle in the area of Baseline Road and Interstate 30.
West on Dahlia, ASP is trying to join in with us.
82 ASP is third car, he's catching up to you.
I took primary in the pursuit near the intersection of Cloverdale Drive and Dahlia Drive. I observed the vehicle traveling above the posted speed limit with numerous pedestrians outside of residences in the area. As the vehicle approached Dahlia Drive and Azalea Drive, I moved to the passenger side of the vehicle and attempted a TBI.
You done right here?
Adam 14 Austin, I've taken location.
Getting back on Chico from Azalea.
After a failed TBI attempted, the vehicle turned north onto Chicot Road. I once again moved to the passenger side of the vehicle and conducted a successful TBI.
TBI University.
Disabling the vehicle, I assisted LRPD with taking the driver, identified as Quentin Forney, into custody without further incident. The investigation was turned over to LRPD. Thanks for your time, and have a great day. At approximately 2:12 in the morning, North Little Rock Police Department requested assistance for a pursuit on I-440 West. I responded to I-30 East at mile marker 131 and took primary the pursuit on I-440 at mile marker 1. I traveled up the I-440 West on-ramp from Springer Boulevard and approached the rear of the vehicle at the Gore. Suspect vehicle was in lane number 2, traveling approximately 30 miles per hour. I entered lane number 1, matched speeds with it, and completed a successful TBI. The car spun to the right, and the front of it struck the concrete bridge wall on the north side of I-440, coming to a final rest. The driver looked over the wall and then jumped over the wall. There was an approximate 50-foot drop from the bridge to the ground.
50 foot down.
There he is.
The suspect was transported to UAMS and pronounced deceased by Dr. Melissa Kest at 2:57 in the morning. The passenger was the front passenger of the vehicle and immediately surrendered to NLRPD. On March 8, 2024, at 10:35 hours, I, Trooper Weatherly, attempted to conduct a traffic stop on a 2015 white Chevrolet Cruze on Highway 365 North near the Waffle House in Mamel for fictitious tags. I observed the temporary tag was much smaller and a different font than the temporary tags issued in Arkansas. I ran the tag number through ACIC and NCIC, and the tag returned to a 2015 Chevy Chrysler, which expired in September 30th, 2022.
Well, 10:37.
The vehicle accelerated forward and turned onto Highway 365 North. I attempted a TBI almost immediately, but was unsuccessful. The vehicle accelerated to speeds over 85 miles per hour, and an additional TBI was attempted near the Wilkes Lane, but was too shallow and unsuccessful.
Put your hands up!
The vehicle traveled too fast, making the turn, which resulted in the vehicle traveling through a ditch on the west side of Quinn Road and striking a small tree with its front bumper in the front yard of 14305 Quinn Road.
Put your hands out, bro! He wouldn't let me. Shut up! Stop talking! Shut your mouth!
I conducted a search of Kramer's person and located 2 clear plastic baggies containing a white crystal-like substance in his right front coin pocket. I conducted a search of the vehicle and located a glass pipe with a burnt crystal-like substance in the center console. On Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, at approximately 9 p.m., I, Trooper Dylan Evans, received information that the West Memphis Police Department was in pursuit of a gold Kia Sorento. West Memphis advised the Sorento was northbound on Missouri Street and turned to travel east on the East Service Road. I observed the Sorento traveling east on the East Service Road at a high rate of speed. I became primary in the pursuit as the Sorento passed 7th Street on the service road.
Speed to 112.
The Sorento entered Interstate 40 and continued fleeing eastbound at speeds in excess of 120 miles per hour. The Sorento used all 3 lanes of Interstate 40 and both shoulders to pass vehicles, showing no regard for the safety of the motoring public. At approximately 9:07 p.m., I attempted to conduct a TVI on the Sorento near the 282-mile marker.
Failed TVI.
But the TVI was unsuccessful.
We're coming up on the state line. Not caught up in traffic.
I terminated the pursuit at Tennessee State Line on Interstate 40. The reasons for the chase are not known. The video began with the Toyota already being chased, and the officer whose car is being recorded was called to assist with a pit maneuver. The original audio will appear at the end of the video. Almost immediately, the officer made an attempt to stop the suspect, but was unsuccessful. However, at that point, the suspect hit a barrier and punctured the right front tire. The first attempt to block the suspect was made, but there was not enough for a third car to block the Toyota from behind. Almost immediately, a final attempt was made to block the suspect.
Get out of the car!
On November 11, 2023, while patrolling the area of Northwest Street and Michigan Avenue southbound, I observed a gray Lincoln SUV bearing Florida tags traveling northbound on Northwest Street at 59 miles per hour in a posted 40 mile per hour zone. The vehicle was rapidly passing cars from lane to lane without signaling. I made a U-turn and began overtaking the suspect vehicle.
Traffic, reference 1174, Pincoat Lane and Tokyo Street.
Right on those lane. That's dead end. I guess might help me.
We're getting 55 to 60 hours. Hello, P68 3D, P51 12, Pincoat Lane.
The suspect vehicle made a loop around the apartment complex on Boone Street and re-entered US 29, traveling southbound.
Violation.
We're reckless. Speed, local lane changes to our road. South 129.
The driver lost control of the suspect vehicle, causing the suspect vehicle to leave the roadway and enter thick vegetation. I made a left turn onto Neighbor's Place as the driver was attempting to regain control of the suspect vehicle. As the suspect vehicle re-entered Neighbor's Place, I conducted a pit maneuver using my right front push bumper onto the left rear fender of the suspect vehicle. The suspect was approximately 20 yards ahead of Canine Colt. Canine Colt caught up to the suspect and engaged the suspect. The suspect was commanded to show his hands, to which he complied. An inventory search of the vehicle revealed a clear plastic bag, which field tested positive for cocaine residue. A digital scale with white powder residue was located on the center console. On April 2, 2024, I advised by the Sanford Regional Communications Center of an active pursuit of a murder suspect, Walter Medina, traveling eastbound on Interstate 4 from Polk County and entering Osceola County. The vehicle was a gold Town & Country van bearing Florida tags. I overtook the pursuit, positioning myself as a secondary vehicle. I provided dispatch with the updates on the vehicle's speed, location, and direction of travel. I informed SRCC that the suspect was traveling at 89 miles per hour, passing heavy traffic on the left shoulder. As we approached the mile marker 70, the suspect continued driving recklessly, weaving in and out of traffic.
We're at the 54 right now.
Now has you at 64, 80 miles per hour.
Show me 15 that way also. First station.
The driver continued to flee, reaching speeds of over 112 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone.
Someone speeds at 128 and on four, heading this way. You can relay the information to 1049 Orange County. They can contact on the front. You sure you can one out of them? Make your pass the 50 land, everybody's dropping into the rest of the shoulder of the roadway. As he's approaching, on the shoulder at the 71. 3261 unit, when it reaches the beach line and you stay east, let me know to go on the beach line and raise your motor feet away. Let's go. 326, you got at the beach line? Yes, keep going, I'm right here in the shoulder.
As traffic eased, I pulled alongside the suspect vehicle on the left to attempt a pit. I made contact with the right side of my push bumper and the left rear of the suspect vehicle, but the pit attempt was unsuccessful. He's just passing everybody on the shoulder. Now we're back on the road, we're passing. We're passing through like really, you did. Otherwise, the exit, but we're still westbound. So you're at the exit. Oh, sorry, eastbound. The suspect exited the interstate at exit 79 on John Young Parkway and continued driving recklessly on the exit ramp toward an intersection with a red traffic signal.
Looks like we are making a right.
The suspect ran the light and attempted a right turn to travel south on John Young Parkway, but collided with the race center median, disabling the vehicle. I exited my patrol car and challenged the suspect on the driver's side with loud verbal commands, which he failed to comply with. K-9 Trooper Jeffrey Publiones arrived as backup, and we continued giving the suspect loud verbal commands to show both hands. The suspect did not comply and instead reached his right hand into the vehicle. The suspect was then placed under arrest. EMS was contacted, and the suspect was treated at the scene. On July 6, 2024, Trooper Calvert, was sitting at the North Little Rock Police Department NLRPD Justice Center when NLRPD advised that they were in pursuit of a vehicle near East Broadway. The vehicle was described as a red Chevrolet pickup. NLRPD advised that they were heading west on Broadway at speeds of approximately 40 miles per hour. I intercepted the vehicle at East Broadway and Poplar and became primary in the pursuit.
Approaching Broadway and Broadway.
I'll hit him again.
I followed the vehicle on East Broadway west through the intersection with Main and Maple Streets. Speeds were approximately 40 miles per hour. I attempted 2 TVIs between the intersection of East Broadway and Willow and East Broadway and Broadway, along the left side of the vehicle. I was too shallow when executing the TVIs, and the suspect was able to drive out of both of these attempts.
Now? No. Now. You gotta get these. Deep. Four. Not now. You gotta come traffic.
Travel him that.
The suspect continued to flee south over the Broadway Bridge, and Sergeant Gabe Monroe became primary in the pursuit. Sergeant Monroe moved into position along the right side of the vehicle and performed a TVI. The vehicle rotated clockwise 90 degrees and struck the concrete barrier on the right shoulder. The vehicle continued rotating clockwise 360 degrees and continued driving southbound at slow speeds. The suspect vehicle again struck the concrete barrier and came to a rest. On Monday, June 3, 2024, at approximately 9:39 a.m., I was patrolling Interstate 555 southbound near mile marker 46. I observed a white Nissan Versa in front of me and learned that the vehicle was uninsured after running the license plate through ACIC. I activated my overhead blue lights to initiate a traffic stop at mile marker 46.
Up here on Wood Springs, she hadn't stopped yet, about 40 miles an hour.
The Nissan Versa took the exit and continued over the overpass on Wood Springs Road. At this point, the vehicle was traveling only around 45 to 50 miles per hour. We continued southbound on Parker Road at a normal rate of speed, but the driver still refused to pull over. We stopped at the red light facing south on Parker with the intersection of Southwest Drive. I exited my patrol car and commanded the driver to pull into the parking lot to her right.
Stop. Pull into the parking lot. No, pull into the parking lot.
Negative. Call it 1037. Or, northbound. Just got back on the interstate.
For northbound, southwest on Poplar.
TBI.
Not working.
At 9:43 a.m., I attempted to do a TVI on the vehicle and it left the roadway into the ditch on the west side of the on-ramp. The driver was able to drive the vehicle out of the ditch and continued south on the interstate, reaching speeds over 100 miles per hour.
16.
I attempted the TVI, which resulted in the vehicle going into the concrete wall on the right side of the road. After the TVI, I started a fishtail going towards the wire barrier. At the same time, the Nissan Versa was coming back towards me, causing me to go into the wire barrier with the driver's side of my patrol vehicle. The vehicle came to its final rest, facing back north on the southbound lanes. I approached the vehicle with my gun drawn and then dragged the driver out of the passenger side of the vehicle. I was able to place the driver into custody and call for an ambulance. On March 8, 2024, at approximately 2:03 p.m., I, Trooper Darian Evans, was stationary at the Bridgeport Scales along Interstate 40 West. I was then notified by a 2nd Judicial Drug Task Force agent of an ongoing pursuit of a federal fugitive in West Memphis heading towards the interstate via Troop D communications radio. I then got on Interstate 40 and attempted to intercept the pursuit.
That's 25th. Coming back towards the roadside. I'm eastbound from St. Francis County. Number again on 241.
At this time, the pursuit continued on Interstate 55 North, then onto Interstate 40 West, where I was able to intercept near the 271 mile marker. When I became the primary vehicle in the pursuit, the suspect vehicle showed no signs of stopping, and due to the reckless operation, it was determined the pursuit needed to be ended to protect innocent third parties on the roadway.
114, westbound,
Yeah, I'm primary.
I performed a TVI to stop the dangerous flight of the suspect. This caused the suspect vehicle to exit the roadway to the right and collide with a ditch. Upon this collision, the suspect vehicle overturned several times, thus ejecting 2 occupants. Both occupants were conscious and responsive when checked by officers. However, an ambulance was notified to check them both. The driver of the suspect vehicle was identified as Oscar Block of Arkansas. The passenger in the vehicle was identified as Patricia Morgan of Mississippi. I briefly spoke to Mrs. Morgan about her involvement, and she stated that the suspect would not stop after she pleaded with him the whole time and that it was her car that he was operating. The incident took place at approximately 8 a.m. when an officer in a parked patrol car noticed a gold Lexus E300 traveling eastbound on East Valley Pleasant Road without a visible license plate. The officer then drove behind the vehicle and activated his car's overhead lights and siren, with the Lexus proceeding to switch lanes and accelerate at a high speed.
Mile 71st.
The chase continued through side streets before ending up on Broadway Avenue. As the Lexus approached the intersection of Broadway and Miles Avenue, it drove on the wrong side of the road, striking a Lincoln in a crash that disabled both vehicles. Following the crash, 3 occupants exited the Lexus, including a female who exited from the back seat and immediately dropped to the ground. 2 males exited from the front passenger door, with one standing by the vehicle and the other taken off on foot. Michigan State Police in the early morning of March 15, 2023, pursue a stolen pickup truck that had allegedly been used in the burglary of Smoke Society, a marijuana store in Bay County's Bangor Township. Just before 5 a.m. on March 15th, a break-in was reported at Smoke Society in Bangor Township. The burglars had used a tool to pry open a door and gain entry, said Bay County Sheriff Troy R. Cunningham. Deputies responded to the scene, by which time the culprits had already fled. The business manager provided deputies with surveillance camera footage of the burglary, from which they learned that the thieves had fled in a black Chevrolet Silverado work truck.
Speed's too fast to pit. It looks occupied times 3.
Probably too fast to pit, southbound district.
Yeah, he's going to be in the opposite side lanes now, southbound on Big C, going approximately 80 now. He's going to hit the homeless car.
Pursued by a Michigan State Police car, the truck veered across lanes as its speed topped 120 miles per hour, causing heaps of stolen weed to rise from its bed and fly across the blacktop. Despite all the weed that flew from the truck during the pursuit, its bed still contained a large amount of it when the chase came to an end. Sheriff Cunningham had said the value of the stolen merchandise exceeded $100,000.
Yep, just took one, hold on. We're in a parking lot. Hit him. Going 3 yards. Going 3 yards here. Bailing. Yep. We're bumper to bumper. We had one tipped off on foot northbound to the field.
One person exited from the passenger side of the truck and took off running. Troopers chased after the suspects on foot, quickly catching 4 of them. A canine unit responded and tracked the 5th to a nearby garage, where police found him hiding behind a boat. Euless police released Dashcam video from Tuesday night showing their officers following the suspect's car. Police say they tried to pull over 2 men, but they drove off and ran a red light at the intersection of Trinity Boulevard and Euless South Main Street in Fort Worth. With lights and sirens on, the Euless officer tried to pull over the black Ford Focus. The department says he observed its front and back license plates were not the same. One did not belong to the car, and the other was expired. However, just seconds later, the officer abandoned the pursuit. The officer's camera recorded a large flash when the driver hit a transformer and also struck a 27-year-old woman in another vehicle. She was killed upon impact. Police say the criminal driver got out and tried to run. He was quickly captured. A passenger in that vehicle who was trapped inside is also in custody. On May 23, 2023, at approximately 2:40 p.m., an officer with the Sheridan Police Department attempted to initiate a traffic stop with a vehicle within the city limits. The driver of the vehicle refused to stop and caused a pursuit into Grant County, which involved officers from Sheridan PD and deputies from the Grant County Sheriff's Office. The suspect's manner of driving, including high speeds, showed an indifference for human life. An officer with Sheridan PD was forced to use intentional intervention to end the pursuit when the suspect came into the officer's lane of travel approximately 8 miles north of Sheridan. The suspect lost control and crashed into the roadside ditch. Officers and medical personnel attempted life-saving measures. However, the driver died on scene. The passenger was taken to the hospital with injuries. Both the driver and the passenger had active warrants and the vehicle was stolen. Charges are pending after suspected methamphetamine was discovered on the passenger person at the hospital. Thanks for watching.